Dr. Linda Martin in Lucifer is one of the show's most endearing and pivotal human characters, yet her role is wrapped in one glaring contradiction. As a therapist to celestial beings navigating human emotions, Linda becomes a reliable voice of reason, comic relief, and emotional anchor for many of the show's most dramatic moments. Yet, when her actual professional conduct is scrutinized, it's hard to overlook just how far she falls from the standards of a competent therapist. Lucifer centers around the devil himself leaving hell and making a home in Los Angeles, where he owns a nightclub and works as a civilian consultant with the Lapt. While much of the narrative focuses on his relationship with Detective Chloe Decker, Dr. Linda Martin, Rachel Harris, plays a key role in helping Lucifer process his internal struggles. Still, the writing often glosses over how terrible she is at her day job. By blending her professional life with personal entanglements, Linda's story highlights both an incredible character arc and a glaring moral blind spot. Linda Martin is one of Lucifer's best characters, but only if you ignore that she's a bad therapist. She's warm, witty, and wildly over-involved, and that's exactly why fans love her. Linda Martin crying in Lucifer Season 4. Linda Martin, Lucifer's therapist, became a fan-favorite Lucifer character almost immediately. Her quick wit, fearless attitude, and willingness to engage with Lucifer's antics made her a breath of fresh air amid the show's darker themes. Whether it's her dry humor while advising the literal devil or her vulnerable moments of introspection, Linda is undeniably one of Lucifer's emotional linchpins. The chemistry she shares with the rest of the cast, particularly Tom Ellis, Lucifer, and Rachel Harris, makes each scene she's in compelling and entertaining. However, Linda's appeal doesn't come from her professional expertise; if anything, it comes despite it. Her ability to humanize celestial beings like Lucifer and Amenadiel gives her strong narrative purpose, allowing the writers to explore philosophical dilemmas in accessible ways. Her personal journey in Lucifer, particularly in accepting the existence of divine beings and navigating motherhood under impossibly complicated circumstances, adds emotional depth that keeps her from being a one-dimensional therapist trope. Yet, this very narrative advantage is also one of her greatest flaws. To buy into Linda's role wholeheartedly, the audience is required to overlook countless ethical violations. Many of her best moments, like crossing personal and professional lines, are things that would get any therapist stripped of their license in real life. In Lucifer's heightened universe, it translates into endearing character growth. In reality, it would be malpractice. This tension makes Linda an interesting study in cognitive dissonance, where viewers cheer for her while simultaneously brushing aside the harsh truth that she's simply not good at her actual job. Why Dr. Linda would make a terrible therapist in real life. From crossing lines to breaking trust, Linda's therapy sessions would never fly outside of TV. Strip away the celestial chaos of Lucifer, and Dr. Linda Martin's professional ethics crumble. In a grounded context, Linda would be considered a case study on how not to conduct therapy. Her history of crossing boundaries starts almost immediately, with her romantic involvement with Lucifer. Though their relationship shifts into a professional one, the initial entanglement forever complicates the dynamic. Engaging in any form of intimacy with a client is one of the most glaring ethical breaches in therapy, eroding the trust and objectivity required for effective treatment. As the twist-filled Lucifer goes on, Linda's boundary blurring extends beyond Lucifer himself, too. She becomes deeply embedded in his social circle, advising Chloe, Maze, Amenadiel, and even indirectly influencing their decisions. Each of these interactions presents a conflict of interest. Therapists are expected to maintain neutrality and avoid entanglements that could cloud judgment, yet Linda dives headfirst into relationships with Lucifer's friends and foes without hesitation. Her lack of professionalism also shows in her impulse to exploit her therapeutic insights for personal gain. Writing a book about Lucifer without his explicit consent is a staggering violation of confidentiality. Even if the show glosses over this with humor, it highlights a willingness to prioritize her ambitions over her ethical obligations. Unprofessional advice at multiple points in Lucifer further chips away at Dr. Linda's credibility as a therapist. Suggesting Lucifer reveal his true nature to Chloe, despite the emotional ramifications, falls outside the therapeutic role. Rather than guiding Lucifer to reach conclusions independently, Linda often nudges him toward actions that serve her narrative convenience more than his mental health. Hypocrisy also looms large in Linda's arc. While she champions self-awareness and facing fears, Dr. Linda routinely avoids her own emotional pitfalls, like her complicated romance with Amenadiel and the secrecy around their child. Inconsistent support, such as pressuring Lucifer one moment and discouraging him the next, adds to the dissonance between Linda the character and Linda the therapist. Her temporary departure from helping Lucifer after discovering his true form is almost a literal abandonment, a professional sin that would devastate a client. In real life, Linda's approach to therapy in Lucifer wouldn't just be frowned upon, it would likely cause harm. Her actions reflect a therapist more concerned with personal connections and storylines than the ethical framework that ensures client safety and trust. Lucifer revealing himself to Linda allows viewers to give her some grace after season 2. Once the devil shows his face, it's easier to forgive Linda for not following the rulebook. Linda Martin wearing a green shirt and glasses in her office in Lucifer. Despite her laundry list of professional missteps, there's a reason fans continue to embrace Dr. Linda. After Lucifer's season 2 climax, when Lucifer finally reveals his true demonic form to Linda, her character undergoes a crucial transformation that softens much of the criticism. Faced with literal divine and infernal realities, Linda finds herself in uncharted territory where textbook ethics no longer apply. Working with the literal devil and his celestial family pushes her beyond the boundaries of any normal, therapeutic scenario. Dr. Linda's reactions post-revelation are far from perfect, but they are also somewhat understandable. She does distance herself from Lucifer, a choice that can be seen as both self-preservation and neglect. But this raw human response to an unfathomable situation adds layers to her character. Linda isn't just a therapist trying to help, she's a regular person suddenly dealing with gods, demons, and cosmic stakes. The emotional whiplash is intense, and it's hard to blame her for faltering.